Never. I'm back to revive it. I came just to revive it.
Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream.
Feel like an absolute idiot because we had an awesome intro, but I wasn't recording my mic, so you could just hear Sizz talking, which would be really weird.
You should just put like a clip of it in the beginning, just like some random thing of me laughing with no sound before.
I will. I'll start the episode off with that. Yo, we got Sizz today. Sizz is reviving this Sandman Talks.
Yep, bringing it back, dude. John just wanted me to come back. You know, he begged me. He's like, "Hey, Daddy Sizz, you know we."
Get out of here.
You know, I really need you. You know, Dylan was Dylan's not as interesting as you because you're way cuter than Dylan. Yeah, that's why you're my favorite son. And he's like, that's why I need you on the show. And that's exactly how it went down.
I needed Sizz, and he was like I said earlier, but you didn't hear because I was muted. He was eating a California burrito, which has French fries in it. And he was.
Everyone should eat that. Change your life.
Shoving. That's the opposite of like most commercials. Change your life. Eat California fry burritos. Oh god.
It's the best, dude. Everyone's life will actually change forever.
It's the best. But welcome to Sandman Talks, where we literally talk about topics of your day-to-day life, like what's going on and things like that. The topic today is fatherhood, children, life plans, and mortality. This one is gonna get deep. It's gonna be awesome, but Sizz is perfect for this because he is the you're 22, right?
Yeah,
he's the 22 bachelor. I'm the 30-year-old dad, so we're showing you from two sides. I'm gonna read this email real quick and we'll go from there. Hey John, long-time watcher here. My name is, we're gonna call him Freddie Kyle throughout this whole thing. Once again, I lost this audio, but just re-recording it. But yeah, we gave him the name Freddie Kyle because he said he wanted to be called Kyle, but I said Freddie. Long story that doesn't need to be long at all. It's short now. And I'm one of your slightly older viewers. I'm 25. Absolutely love the positiveness you bring into overly cynical YouTube. So my issue relates to having children. I heard in your recent video that your son's 11 months old. Time flies so quick. Just goes to show how long it's been since I've done one of these. I wanted to ask how you think you've changed since becoming a father. I know that in a bigger picture view, your child brings you greater meaning and purpose, but how does living and caring for him make you feel on a day-to-day basis? Do you feel positive and fulfilled because your son all the time? Is that magic that people talk about really a constant thing, or is it partly a facade? And most importantly, how has your perception of this world and your place in it changed since becoming a father? For context, I asked this question because I'm relatively recent engineering graduate and working happily in my chosen field. Living with my long-term girlfriend and children are definitely part of the plan within the next few years. It's hard to imagine how my life would change with kids and how I would feel with a child. I'm excited about the prospect and definitely want to be a father. But the recurring question is always, when is the right time? I think most people don't really feel as old as they are. The expectations of who you imagine you'll be when you're older versus what you actually feel like when you become older are always different. In some ways, I feel like I'm 18 or younger, still a big kid at heart. So I find it hard to gauge when I naturally be ready to have kids. But the longer you wait, the less your life you have to enjoy with the family in the future. And when you're in your 20s, you're still young, but a significant portion of your life has passed. And it starts becoming apparent that your lifespan has an end. It seems to be the age group in which people start becoming aware of the time limits on life. So how do you personally feel about your own mortality? Does it affect you to know that one day you won't be thinking or feeling on this planet anymore? That living as long as you can hope for, assuming everything goes well, will still end conceivable amount of time from now? If this is something that weighs in on your mind, how do you cope with it? Hope this topic wasn't too personal or heavy. Definitely not, man. As a man, I still appreciate so many things others dismiss as childish. And I'm also, is that why you like me, dude? Appreciate that, man. And I'm also very musically driven. Guitar covers, YouTube are one of my passions. And I'm sure you can see why hearing your thoughts would be helpful for me. Keep up the great videos, dude. We need more free-spirited people out there sending good vibes.
Damn, Kyle, Freddie Kyle sounds like a good dude. Sounds like a really good. Yeah. He's like genuinely asking you for advice. He wants to know what he's gonna prepare for soon.
So this is where the conversation started, and I realized my mic was off, so it should be good from here on out. But I was asking Sizz if he had any friends who were his age who got married or had kids or anything like that.
Yeah, I have like one or two friends that are like I had like one friend. His name, I'm not even gonna say his name, but it's just because you never know. But let's say I'll call him Al. Let's say my friend Al. He's already like engaged now, and I'm just like he's like my age, and I'm just like sitting here like mind blown about it. And then and like there's like another girl I used to know in my middle school. Like we used to be friends for a while. She's now married to a guy that's like 37, and she's my age, 37, and she has an adopted kid. And I'm like mind blown about how people are just so ready to get into that. Like they had no experience going into it, and meets a guy that's like almost double her age, already has a kid, and is already ready to go into that. I mean, it seems so crazy to me.
It's insane to think that people, like, everyone lives different lives, right? So yeah. Some people, when they get out of high school, like even in high school, they're like, I want to be a parent. Like that's what I want to do. That's like my thing. And some people are like, I just want to party, do drugs, get crazy, and like.
And that's something you'll see a lot with conservative people too. Is like like my parents are like that. They're when they got out of high school, they were ready. My mom was ready to have a kid. Like she was instantly ready. My mom was always like that. She's always been like that.
So how many people in your family total? Or like brothers and
me,
sisters?
it's just me and my sister. Just me and my sister. She's like 6 years younger than me.
Cool. And your mom had you when she was younger.
Yeah, right when they got married, like I was popped out.
Hello. All right. So here's the first question. I think we should go over is for me personally, when I had Bryce, my son, there definitely is that magic. There's like that total cliche movie moment, like oh my son, I love you, like you're everything. You
realized you had a son.
Nothing matters, Sizz. Like nothing else mattered in the world, and I was like, okay, like I'm good. Like whatever happens, as long as he's happy, like I'm cool. Like so it is partly a facade that like this child is your world and you're everything. It is your world and you're everything, but you're still a person who has selfish needs and who still wants things and who still. I miss napping. I miss taking naps.
It's a natural thing for everyone. Yeah, I mean, it's like you want to do the daily activities you've always been used to doing.
Yeah, I really genuinely miss naps, but like those are the selfish things that like I learned, to hey. I have a son. I have a kid.
Yeah.
I have a kid. Okay, naps or beautiful kid? Let's think about this one. Like naps or human life?
You're gonna choose naps in that case.
Says the 22-year-old. No, I'm kidding. I know.
I'm joking.
But I think my place in the world has definitely changed. I'm no longer number one. When I got married to my wife, I became number two. She became number one. And then when I had my son, he became number one up with my wife. So now they're both equal and I'm number two. You know what I mean? But a lot of people also say like it's good to be selfish still and still have your you time and do things for yourself because like that's really important because you are you. But it also depends on who you are. If you want to put your, family first, you can. A lot of people put work first to provide for their family and then family second, but then they realize that like family's really important and they need to be first, and it goes back and forth. So it is you are who you are, and I could already tell that Freddie Kyle's a good dude. Like, so whenever you feel things just work out, they really do. Sometimes people have a baby and they were not expecting it and they weren't ready. They didn't think they were ready. But look at it this way. There's a lot of shitty parents out there.
Yeah, there really are.
A lot.
There really are.
You're going to do better than them and you're going to like provide the best life. And it's when you feel ready. It's really when you feel ready. So an interesting thing to like go on about is what are your views on mortality, Sizz, like death.
On mortality.
Are you
I mean, this is an interesting topic because like okay, so
are you
here,
religious?
so yeah, let me get into all this. So
Okay.
like growing up, my entire like aunts and uncles and grandma, like they've always been super religious, like
Yeah.
extremely religious. My parents are like have always tried to push religion on me, and like even growing up, like like we used to go to church and then we slowly stopped going to church, and like as I got older, I started to like make my own decisions. I went to church myself, like made my choices. I wanted to go to church, and then
Yeah. I'm the same way.
after like a year of going, like I kind of just like started to think more for myself. Like I became slightly more agnostic, which means like you believe there's a God, but you don't worship him. Like you don't take the time to go to church and like
Absolutely.
worship. So, like
Yeah,
that's what I consider myself. I do believe there's like a higher being, but I don't believe that I'm required to go to church to prove myself to like this person. Like if I'm a good person, I'm gonna be judged by that, not by if I have to go to church. If I'm going to church, I want to go there for my own mental health and for myself.
Yeah.
Not just because it says in the Bible to go to church.
I'm with
that's my
you
mentality.
100%. I've always believed when I started really like understanding things, I was like, man, the Bible is such a good book. It's so good. The stories are incredible.
They really are.
I mean, some of them are pretty like, very not 2019. But like, so like
Definitely not 2019.
some of them are really good stories, and it all depends on if you believe those stories were like a real thing, and like I feel very like holy, like spiritual. I think like you said, like I'm super spiritual. Like I believe a good vibe sent out into the world equals a good vibe back, and like good energy, and the world works off energy.
100% agree.
And I also
agree.
maybe I'm taking the pussy way out, but I also believe when I die, like I'm gonna go somewhere. And that could be just scientists would be like, ha ha ha, idiot. Religious people would be like, yeah, duh, dude. And there will never be an agreement. You could always have a conversation, but me and my buddies always joked around, like whenever you talk about like, is God real, to someone who believes and someone who doesn't believe, there's never gonna be a winning thing. It's always gonna be like agree to disagree, because like you can't really change someone's mind.
You can't convince someone's like mentality on that in like an instant. Like it takes a whole like life experience to really change your mind on that kind of topic. It's all like self-found. Like you don't really have someone else look for it for you. It's like all through your heart.
Exactly. And so as far as like thinking about my own life, my whole goal now, like with my son, and and then Sizz can let us know like what his thoughts are, because he's had a lot of changes come up recently. But like with my son, like all I want to do is just make this person, this human being, the best possible human being he can be. And then when I have my daughter, the same thing is like, that's all I want. So when I do leave this earth, whenever it is, if it's tomorrow or if it's in 60, 70 years, or 100 years, if we get crazy with technology, I mean, whenever it is, I just want to make sure that I have taught my kids everything about life that I have truly loved and have truly hated, and like shown them why being racist is bad, in my opinion. Why it is not okay to be homophobic. Why you should be good to people. Why am I always so happy? Why? Really? Like why? Is it because I'm fake? No, it's because like I was like taught.
You're just energetic.
By my
you just
mom.
want to. That's just how you are.
Yeah, it's just how I am, and like my parents raised me that way, to be like really just. I mean, life is so beautiful for me personally, right? And a lot of people are listening to this possibly and being like, yeah, well, life isn't beautiful for me. You don't know what I'm going through.
Yeah, life is a roller coaster.
It's a roller coaster. Exactly.
It always crazy amounts of ups and downs. Like we've all been there. Like I've definitely been there. I've been like the lowest possible low of my life before, and like I've gotten back up in like a month. Like it just takes time. Like every time, it's so fucking cliche to hear it, but every time someone says it just takes time, it's seriously true. Like after some time, you'll realize like, okay, it was all a blessing in disguise. Like,
and that
I want
time
to work
could
toward
be
this goal now.
It could be a day, it could be a week, it could be a month, it could be a year, it could be 5 years.
Yep.
And I know that sounds crazy. A lot of people who are going through high school are like, I'm never gonna get through this. I get bullied, or I'm getting like, life sucks. This girl just broke up with me. I'll never, like, time heals, and it's also learning. It really does. Learning from what has happened. So I think
and I have a friend who's never been in a relationship before, right? And like he's like asked me about stuff, and like when I hear him talk about relationships, I realize like how different it is to have been in like long-term relationships and understand it, and like have that kind of heartbreak experience, and have that kind of it's like an experience where you're removing someone from your life.
Yeah.
So that's not like a normal thing to everyone that's not been in a relationship. So talking to him about it, I could tell there's people in the world that have never had that, and once they will experience that, I feel like everyone will go through that at one point.
Absolutely.
And once you do experience that, you're not like alone. I want everyone to like remember that you're never alone when you're in that like dark, deep spot that you think you just can't get out of. Like, you have your family, you have friends that are willing to talk to you, even if you think they won't understand.
And if you don't, you have a dog. You have a. And I'm just thinking of like the lowest of low. Yeah, dude, I love my dogs too.
I know.
But like a lot of people, you know, like we could be like, you have your family, and they're like, no, actually, I don't. They're passed away now. Or you have your friends. No, none of them are talking to me. There's always something. And here's where it's really cool is like, that's not this particular reason, but a lot of people turn to religion to talk to God, or to talk, because guess what? If no one else is there for you, maybe if you study whatever it is, Judaism, Christianity, any religion, you have someone to talk to. And I find myself personally, who very spiritual, not very religious, but talking to like just maybe I'm a psychopath, just talking to myself and just like really like saying things out loud.
No, I do the same thing. I do the same thing. Like, I'm just like trying to hype myself up or something. I'll be like in the shower. I'm like, you gotta do this tomorrow. You gotta get ready. You gotta like focus here.
And you're saying it out loud, right?
Get your head in the game. Yeah, I'm talking to myself. I'm trying to hype myself up. Like, I'll like play music, rap to the music, and like that kind. Even like music is huge, just for me at least too.
Yeah,
I feel like when you're in those like deep, like dark spots, music is so key to helping you just stay relaxed and stay like level-headed.
Exactly. And I just think you'll get out. You'll get out. I don't know how. I mean, you'll get out of whatever issues you're having, and things will be good again. They will.
They will.
So just going back to, because I want to make sure we get these the questions. But I feel like this is what I love about this, is like we can start talking about something and it'll drift into something else.
Yeah, we just go off topic.
Totally fine. All right, so a big thing for him was, when is the right time to have kids? So there's just another thought. You can put off having kids for a really long time. You can always say, man, we don't have the money to bring in a kid. And that's fair. That is totally fair. But you're never going to have the house you want, the place you want. You're never going to be making the amount of money you want to make. It's really interesting. And please don't take this as, oh, well, if I just have a kid, life's going to go awesome. No. Obviously, you want a home or an apartment or somewhere to bring the child. You want a good environment. You want some savings. You want a little bit of backup. But at the same time, there are so many people in this world who have kids and who make it work. And some of them are not ready to be parents, and some of them should not have done it and should have thought about the kid they're bringing into the world and how important it is, like, to have a good environment for them. And some can't get out of the environment they're in. Some cannot make more money because they're, held back from whatever it is. So it's hard for me to say when's the right time for you, because I'm not living in your shoes. But there never is a right time. It's more just like, you talk to your spouse, you talk to your girlfriend. Hey, like, do you want to do this? Like, are we ready for that? Like, let's, write it down. Let's see the pros and cons. What, like, do we have enough money? Where we would build the room?
One of the biggest parts of it is knowing like what you would consider stable. You know, making sure if I bring my son to this world, can I get him this? Will he be happy like in this topic? Like, you know, different parts of your life.
Exactly. And so Sizz, you said 28. That's when you're like in your mind. That's when
like
you would
26 to 28 is when like I would consider like maybe settling. Like around that. That's like when I would be looking for like someone serious and taking my time with it.
Yeah, that's so interesting, man. Because like my wife was my girlfriend for like 7 years, so I met her at 21. 21 to 28, and then we got
I'm fine with like meeting someone early, like, but I would let them know like I'm not ready to, you know, move forward until I'm like around this age, like, you know, because I want to be settled in these areas. You know, I want to have college done with. I want to make sure my income is stable, stuff like that.
Yeah,
you know, have my own place, etc.
Yeah, that's crazy. So what do you think happens when you die, Sizz? Like, what's your thought on it?
My thought, this is honestly the hardest thing. Is like I really don't know how to answer.
This scares people. This is a scary thing.
You know what's crazy? Yeah, I talked about this with my dad. You know, and my dad, and it was funny. This is like I guess it's a more personal moment. But when my grandma passed away, this is like the worst I've ever seen my dad. Like, this is the first time I've ever seen him like go against God. Like, he would just like there, and he just like didn't want to believe that God existed because his mom passed away. And I was like looking at him, I was like, I've never seen my dad like this before. I've never seen him this like cut down, and to the point where he like didn't even show his own son that like he still was religious. Like, I could tell he had that same mentality that I began to have, where, you know, like you believe there's a higher being, but at the same time it's like you really don't know.
Yeah.
You know? But I mean, after death, when you think about it, it can either be so dark or it can be beautiful. You know, there's this Joe Rogan podcast that I watched where
love Joe Rogan.
Yeah, did you watch? It was about DMT. You've heard of that drug, right?
Yeah, totally.
So he was discussing it. He was discussing it.
Yeah.
And he said that he believes, from his experience, this is like for his life experience, he believes that there's like other beings around us at all times, and we can't see them because when you see them once you take this drug, which he considers like it's enhancing your brain, so you could see these things.
Right.
And he believes that they'll take you to like once you die, they'll take you afterwards, and you know they'll have their world for you. Like, they're waiting for you to come to their world. Like, this isn't over. This current world we're in is not the end of it. That's what he believes. So yeah. Everyone believes something. Like, it can be anything. It could be heaven. It
Buddhist
could be the DMT experience.
You go back into the earth.
Yeah, and it was honestly so interesting, like hearing him talking about it all, because he would show you examples of DMT artwork and then compare it to like Egyptian artwork, and it's the same thing. It looks exactly the same as the visions you see, and it's just crazy to think about that. Like, people's religions can be based off of this kind of drug. It's just nuts.
Yeah. I also like you know, what he was saying is like, does it affect you to know that one day you won't be thinking or feeling on this planet anymore? And that's
crazy.
It does. I mean, like I said, guys, this is like a scary thought, right? Like, I don't want you sitting here thinking about this and being like, oh my God, panic attack and like freaking out. Because here's what's really cool is right now, you have to live in the right now. And right now, you are alive. And say, all right, just let me.
And that's literally all that matters.
That's all that matters.
Breathing.
But
you're breathing, you're alive, and you're able to just at least be a human being. Then you should be happy with your life. You should be like,
exactly.
You should be. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how to word it, but you know.
No, but I feel like here's my take, and this might make you feel better, or this might make you pissed off and be like, no, dude, doesn't make sense. When I fall asleep, I always wake up. Now, when I die, no, it's not like sleeping where you're just gonna wake up, but for my own mind to understand and like to get it, I feel like if I died, some part of my body, my soul, my spirit, whatever it is, something would have to wake up again. And if not, then I'll never know, because it's gone. So like that sorta, in a dark kind of way, makes me rest easier to know. and that I've given all my good energy and my love and my passion and everything that I've seen in my world to my children. Now, whether you have children or not, to my friends, to my family, to YouTube, to Twitch, to whatever I touched. Like, that is all that matters. And, you know, and then we'll see. I'll see you guys in the afterlife.
Dude, when people ask me, like people will come into my chat and stuff and talk about how, like, you know, they're going through hard times or depressed and stuff. And I always, like, the one thing I always emphasize is, like, look at your life and just think of one, like, there's always one thing that makes you happy, and, like, focus on that one thing and, like, work towards that one thing and let that one thing just be that rock for you that helps
dive in.
Like, yeah, exactly. Like for me, I love making others happy, entertaining others. Like, that's, like, really so enjoyable for me. I really enjoy that. And same with, like, my family. Like, my family is, like, a big strong point in my life. Like, I find happiness, you know, my sister, my cousins, they're all really good, like, close people to me. They keep me sane and stuff. So always look for that one thing that makes you guys happy in life, and then it will probably ease whatever you think of the afterlife.
Damn, dude, I love it. Oh, I hope we helped you out, man. I don't even think he needed help. I think he just wanted us to talk about this.
He just wanted general advice, but I think we just got into, like this is, like, a general advice just for anyone, I feel like.
Oh, totally. Right, totally. Whether you have kids or not.
It's not just straight to Kyle. No. Freddie Kyle.
Freddie Kyle, the homie. Well, Sizz, thank you, dude. Thanks for coming on. And guys,
of course,
more Sandman talks for sure. We need more of these. Guys, you have the email. It's in the description if you have any questions. Just try and do topics we haven't talked about yet. It would be perfect. And we love you guys. Be good and
love you.
Don't die, okay? No, no dying, anyone. Can't lose any more subscribers. Bye.